Fuck that house mob. I'm back. To the top, I'ma make it. Niggas just can't take it. To the top, I'ma make 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 it. Niggas just can't take it.
What's good? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Rage and Cypher. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. We're so close to 19K, so share this the YouTube video. Follow us on Instagram at NetsKingdom1. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom, and we got some articles on netskingdom.net. A specific article we're going to talk about today that's going viral. So first, we're going to talk about Dennis. Dennis called KD weak. And then we're going to talk about KD's return. KD's return in the future to Brooklyn. Is he coming back? We might going to talk about it. So first, Dennis, man. Shout out to Yahoo Entertainment. Dennis Schroeder called out KD for his weak antics after winning a gold medal at the 2024 Paris Olympics. German player and NBA star Schroeder spoke about the difference between Europe and American basketball culture on Saturday. He asserted that international ball is predicted on no entertainment. It's straight IQ basketball and guys who know how to play the game. Schroeder and Germany will be eliminated from the Olympic competition after losing to France in fourth place. And then KD, after winning the gold medal, captioned the new iconic picture typing entertainment and IQ. So Schroeder caught wind of the picture, and then we have the clip of what Schroeder said to KD.
Then they won, and Kevin Durant tweet, high IQ and entertainment. For me, that's just being weak. Like that type of a star, and you have to say something to, you know what I'm saying, like a person like me, like who not even meant it to be negative. It was just what I see from both sides, you know what I'm saying? So, I didn't appreciate it. Not even appreciate it. I don't care. But at the end of the day, like that tweet or whatever he posted was because of me. And for me, it was never no negative stuff. Like I respect all those guys, all GOATs. But to say that tells me how weak he is as a person, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Not everybody is strong. Not everybody is, you know what I'm saying, like in a good place.
Ooh, he cooked him. He said he was weak, yo. But Rage, what was your first?
No filter.
What was your first reaction to Dennis calling KD weak? What was your reaction about this whole thing, bro?
So originally it was kind of just like, okay, well, we have Dennis Schroeder, KD beef for whatever reason, but we saw it. And then you heard obviously everything that Dennis said. It was like, I mean, at the end of the day, like KD, we know KD just is kind of always just kind of trolling, like always trolling. Yeah. KD's always trolling. And obviously, you know, Dennis Schroeder, it's like, you know, if you could, you know, if you're Dennis Schroeder, you're just like, I said what I said, but. And then KD said that I feel like for him to, you know, kind of feel the way he felt, like it's just like, you know, all players kind of have like an ego and like, you know, when he kind of poked the bear. And I mean, ultimately with him saying what he said and KD just saying that, I think it's a little weak for, you know, like ultimately to take it that seriously. Like I can get it, but like it's all just, you know, there's nothing too serious. Like at the end of the day, I think Schroeder was taking it a little overboard with everything.
Yeah, I get the part where he was saying, because it makes sense, right? Because international basketball is more team orientated. It's, you know, pass the ball.
And we talked about that in Hoops World too. Like we've talked about this, and we know with like, you know, with Team USA, and like we've seen with other teams that like. We even struggled to like actually have a system compared to everybody else, and we never really had a guy. But like, I mean, we did win the gold medal.
Like you think of international players, Luka, Jokic. These guys are not. These guys can't jump over a piece of paper, but they're the most high. They have the highest basketball IQ in the world, and they're just dominating the NBA level because of their IQ, their high, scoring prowess, the way they think about the game. They're, you know, the things you can't really athletic. They're not athletic, but they can, you know, they team learn the game. You can't
athletically bail yourself out of. Like you can't just go and jump over somebody. You got to actually like use your
think it out.
You have to use IQ and think it out. You know?
So I think that's what Dennis was kind of saying about international basketball is like no entertainment, but KD was just trolling like entertainment and IQ.
It ain't that serious, bro. It ain't that serious. Like it's just all kind of.
Go ahead, Saib. Yeah, jump in.
I mean, look, Schroeder needs to relax. Look, the only reason he said the IQ entertainment thing is because Germany won last year. So the only reason he's saying that is because he was on like top of the world, and then there was the Noah Lyle stuff, and so it was just cool to make fun of the NBA at that point. And I mean, look, Kevin Durant has responded to me on Twitter, so it's like, come on, he'll respond. Like the thing about KD that I like is he doesn't think he's too good to respond to anyone.
Yeah.
Like in that way, I like kind of respect it. It's like if he sees a bad take, like he'll go for it.
Yeah, I love that about KD. Like, KD has stepped into the kingdom plenty of times. He's quote tweeted, replied to Saint. He's quote tweeted my quotes, my tweets. Like, he is on Twitter. Like, KD when it comes to Twitter, he's active. So
heavy.
Yeah, heavy. Speaking of KD, man, we have one of the most viral articles that's going on right now, man. This article, I feel like this article is going to go up because people are sleeping on this article. Shout out to Cypher, man. Make sure you guys type in on netskingdom.net and check out KD's possible return to Brooklyn. There's so much to get into with this article, Cypher, but it's like, give me your like kind of what were your brain was going through when you like kind of wrote this article, and what did you I want to break down the steps because I have each video here. I have KD's step by step, but let us know what you were thinking because people are going to be like, oh hell no, you're crazy, KD's not coming back to Brooklyn, he left on bad terms. Like people are going to like take it out of they think that KD left on bad terms, but it really didn't end up like that. But what was your like brain going through when you made this article, bro?
Well, the article, it sort of struck me when I saw a tweet, like a small clip of Kevin Durant talking on the Boardroom, like his show. And it was in response to a question about like memorabilia, the types of jerseys he's owned.
Right.
And it went into him talking about how he hated the Knicks. And then he talked about how, which is funny because I played for the Nets. And then he talked about how Vince Carter was his childhood hero. And there's not really that much animosity between the Nets fans and Kevin Durant. Like, of course we have problems with him because of the way it ended, but
let me play that clip. I think I have that clip where KD's talking about
and that's crazy because I end up growing up hating the Knicks. playing for Brooklyn, end up hating the Knicks. And then Vince Carter was like my childhood hero growing up.
See, that's two Nets. He hated the Knicks growing up, and then Vince Carter, we're literally shrining Vince Carter the whole offseason. That the Nets have been boosting Vince Carter, retiring his number. It's gonna be in the rafters soon. He's one of the legendary Nets. Vince Carter was his childhood hero. So it's like those are two things that I'm like, I can see why Stife is like, well, KD, what are you saying here, KD? But I want to dive deep into this article too because let's start with KD because KD didn't like Rangers. We were talking before this, and people think KD left on bad terms, right? I mean, we know KD doesn't like Sean Marks, and I'm not sure how his situation with Josiah is, but I don't think they're on like super bad blood terms. But when KD left, right, did you guys think it was like very, very toxic? I know Kyrie and Harden ghosted him, but did you think KD, like, first thing of the Nets, do you think he think it's a toxic situation? Like, the Nets are toxic, I'll never come back to this place. What was your opinion about KD, like, leaving? How did you guys feel about it?
Like, ultimately, I felt with KD, like, we know, like, with Kyrie and we know with Harden and we know with a lot of other players that, like, they've all kind of said stuff after they've left. Like, we know players who have left on bad terms, but in terms of KD, like, he's been, like, the one guy, obviously, that's, like, kind of, like, stuck, like, true and just kind of chilled. Obviously, we did trade him to where he wanted to go, but, like, at the end of the day, this was the one guy that, he wasn't really, he wasn't doing anything, like, off the court that was really affecting us as a team, and where it was a negative effect, and where he was saying a bunch of stuff like, the dude talks on Twitter sometimes, but that's the most he's doing. Like, he's always playing the game, and he was always about it. But like, it was like, you think about it, and it's like, we look at everything, and like with what he said, and it's like, we're trending in towards a better direction, and he could obviously see that. And like we've talked about, it wasn't as bad of terms as people may have thought, like nothing compared to James Harden or Kyrie. So it's like, hey, we have some money. We draft a generational prospect. We still have Cam Thomas.
Yeah.
We still have Claxton. It's like, ooh,
yeah.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Saif.
You give us Cooper Flag and Kate. Cooper Flag and Kate. I don't know what.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, go ahead, Saif.
And the thing is with Durant, like we sent him where he wanted to go. Like we eventually honored his trade request and sent him to his specific destination.
Right.
And after he left, like Nick Friedel, like followed him to Phoenix and asked him, "How would you sum up your career as a Net?" And the dude was tearful. Like he clearly did care about being a Net, and he loved being a Net. Like he loved hating on the Knicks. Like unlike Mikal Bridges, he actually embraced being a Net.
Yeah, let me play that clip that you just spoke about. Before I play that clip, I just want to interject too. KD, like from the situation that I was hearing, again, KD was going to stay. Like he was close to staying. If Kyrie didn't leave, I think KD would have stayed. KD would have stayed at Brooklyn Net. I don't think people think he was like, oh, I gotta go to Phoenix. I think he just wanted to build something here. He knew that
he wanted to run too.
Yeah, he knew he could build something in Brooklyn, and he wanted to build, but it's just everything just fell apart. He wasn't on good terms with Sean. Everything was just falling apart at the time. But let me play the clip that
before you do that, real quick, he was also waiting on a possible Siakam trade, which would have affected his decision. If we traded for Siakam, he would have probably stayed too.
Yeah. Yeah, and KD's, that's per the point. KD's too old to stay on a team that has no, what is he going to do? Stay with Spencer Dinwiddie and McHale? How you going to?
He was just with Golden State and OKC. Like the dude was already it was already winning, and he had to go through that. It's if you're already at year 3 or year 4, and Harden's gone, and now you're going with Kyrie after everything. And two, the dude, anytime the guy got injured, it would seem like something was going bad. So it's this guy's not dealing with that.
Yeah, and also I think when they had that meeting with Joe Tsai's wife, I think they promised KD if things didn't work out, we would send you where you want to go. So it's not like KD was people think he was get me out of here, get me. It wasn't like that situation. But let me play the clip that Saif was talking about. Hold on.
It was a lot of ups and downs, but I love the grind. So, and everybody in Brooklyn loved the grind too. So I built a family over there. They're going to always be a part of my journey. So we didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish as far as winning a championship, just like I told him, but I enjoy the grind. And everybody there, we tried our hardest every day, regardless of what was going on in the media, what was going on with our teammates. Everybody who was in that gym, we grinded. So I love those guys. I get emotional to talk about them because that was a special 4 years of my career, coming off of Achilles, and they helped me through a lot. So I don't have anything... So, yeah, it was terrible how some stuff went down, but at the end of the day, I love the grind. And we all love the grind there in Brooklyn, and I wish them the best going forward. They got a bright future.
Yeah. So you can see, KD got emotional and everything. So going forward now, people are going to be like, oh, you guys are reaching this and that and this and that. But, hey, we never know. KD has a free agency, was it 2026?
Yep.
He's a free agent? Unrestricted free agency in 2026. Now, we've seen the Houston Rockets, they kind of made a slight move. Well, they made that move of getting the picks back, getting the Suns picks from us so that they can dangle that in front of the Suns and be like, yo, we got some picks of yours. You want it back? You got to give us KD. So
make them trade with them.
Yeah, exactly. So Houston is a possible destination for KD. But you think about Houston is a young team too. Houston's a young team that has great prospects. They got Jalen Green, they got Şengün, they got Cam Whitmore. It's a young team with that's up and coming. So I think where it correlates here is in 2026, if the Nets possibly get Cooper Flag, if they're in a race for AJ DeBansta in 2020, or they're on their way up and it's looking good as a good up and coming young team, could it be a possible chance that KD, thinks about,
we also still have guys that he likes. We still have Claxton.
Yeah.
Cam Thomas, hopefully by then, would be an all-star caliber player, which I think he can be with a couple years of development. And he and Cam and KD are still really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really depends because KD is gonna need like it's gonna be interesting to see where KD lands, like what team he chooses to go to, or he just stays with the Suns. I don't think everything because from what I've heard, like everything with the Suns is not as like pure, and KD loves it there. It's still a little shaky there. I think it's still a little shaky.
Got swept. They just got swept. Like
they just got swept. They're in financial hell for the next 3 or 4 years. They don't have no picks until 2030. It's looking crazy right now for the Suns. So it's like KD, it does look crazy. If you're like a player, you're like, damn, they got no like pivotability. Like they don't got no like, like what happens if we get swept this? We added Tyus Jones for a 1-year deal, but we might not be able to pay him. What if we get swept again? So there's a lot of situations like KD could choose another team. Now, if Brooklyn's on that list, let's say, do you guys think? Let's think about the teams here. Do you think Brooklyn is on that list of teams high on KD's list, or do you think it's like there's a whole bunch of teams before Brooklyn? What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think ultimately it's a possibility. I think with Houston, obviously that's a possibility too. But like a big reason with what we're seeing with Houston is the fact that they did the pick thing. They did the pick thing so they could trade for him. Ultimately, when it gets down to free agency, it has to be Kevin Durant's decision.
Yeah.
But we look at some of these teams, like when we go back, like we saw the Suns were involved back then. I know obviously they traded for him. I think the Grizzlies were involved in
the Grizzlies probably would love KD. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Grizzlies were a team.
We were talking about OKC, but I was like, I don't think OKC wants to spin that block. I think they don't want KD back.
I mean, I guess it could be really interesting, but like a team that could like be like desperately like waiting for like firepower, like maybe like a team like Orlando could eventually end up trading for him, or like you even look at a team like New Orleans and get off of Brandon Ingram.
Good point. That's a great point. Go ahead, Saif. You want to jump in there?
It's hard to say because trades right now are so weird because like Ingram doesn't have a market because people are afraid to pay him with a new CBA, and with Durant. How old is KD? Like 35, 36?
34. I think he's turning 36 in October or something like that.
Okay,
he's turning 36 this season, yeah.
Okay, by the time he's a free agent, he's going to be, 37, 38?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's what Kevin Durant wants.
Yeah.
He wants one more without Steph to prove his legacy.
Right.
So I think, and I think he's going to want a decent contract. So he's going to go to a place where either he thinks he's going to win or he's going to go to a place where he could just retire and enjoy the last couple of years of his career and be competitive. And we are an option by 2026 because out of all the teams that Kevin Durant has been on, we're probably the one that he speaks about the most positively.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that. Let me play this clip he said. I'm going to play a little bit of what he said about Cam Thomas in a recent interview. I think it was after a post game.
He's a student of the game. I think that's what people don't understand about Cam. It's like he on his phone and on the plane watching film, like watching other players, trying to figure out best ways for him to be aggressive and approach the game. Like he's watching basketball, playing a video game all day, playing basketball. He's obsessed with the game, and I think that's what attracted us to one another, and just that we kept that locker room talk just everywhere. Like we were ball players, regardless of who else was around us. We were talking about ball, like me, him, Kai.
Yeah, so basically he was just explaining we all knew KD and Cam were very, very, very close. It was obvious, like they were like really, really close. Some people say that KD was some of the reason why they drafted Cam Thomas, but it's so tough, man. Yeah, some people say that, but it's so tough because it's like it really depends what KD. We're speculating here, obviously. This is speculation. But it really depends what Cypher's saying, what KD wants to do. Like, is he going to, at 30, what is he going to be, 37, 38? Is he going to want to go for that last ring? Or is he going to want to retire somewhere where it's like, I just want to play competitive. I want to build something and just, go on the last ride with a team,
And who knows how many years he has left at that point? Because if you're going into then, like, give it 2 more years, who knows, like, what he obviously goes through in terms of, health.
Yeah. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. Okay, there's more details in this article. Make sure you guys check it out on netskingdom.net. Cypher wrote a really good article on this. Let us know in the comments. Do you want KD back? Do you think this is all BS? We're just talking about our, what do you guys think in the comments about KD possibly returning in 2026 if he's a free agent? Let us know in the comments. I know it's going to get toxic, but you know, we got to put you see the facts. We laid out the videos. We laid out everything. There's some situation that could happen. Anything's possible at this moment. I mean, we know Sean and KD have a little tough relationship, but hey, we've seen people mend fences. We've seen Braun go back to Cleveland, and the owner burned his.
He did trade him to where he wanted to go. He did.
What did Dan Gilbert say about Braun, though? Didn't Dan Gilbert burn his jersey or something? He wrote like a note. He wrote a letter.
He wrote a letter saying we will win a championship before LeBron does.
We see Dan Gilbert wrote like I hate you letter to LeBron, and he still came back. Braun still came back, but we'll see what happens. Let us know in the comments. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. We're so close to 19K. Appreciate you guys' support. We'll be back.